What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another unboxing video. We got one shipment here today that came in. This is a person that sold me a collection maybe 2 months ago or so, a part of their collection, and they're still going through stuff. So as they catalog it, send me a list, we come to an agreement, send them money, get it in. So this box is the latest of that and has some pretty good stuff in it. A few things that are already in stock, but a lot of stuff that I just needed to fill out again. So will be a nice little batch of stuff here. So most of this collection is going to be Deadlands items, a few other odds and ends, but really this was just what they kind of went through. So real nice run of the Pinnacle Deadlands from the original iteration of it. So before they went to D20, before it went Savage Worlds, this is just the run that came out in the beginning, and this is really just a great system, well done, great information. So some of the rare items in here too, like the Back East books, always sell well. Black Circle, Canyon of Doom. Got a soft cover of the original rule book. Also hardcover of the Marshal's Handbook. Tales of Terror, 1877. Some of the cardstock Cowboys, which never really had good luck selling. Ghost Dancers. A couple of the modules, Bloody Old Money. Ghostbusters. The Agency source book. Book of the Dead. Rascals, Varmints and Critters 2. Reign of Terror, the other Back East book, The South. Collegium, one of the better source books they did. Lost Angels, City book. Hucksters and Hexes. Let's see, we got the first two of the modules, Road to Hell and Heart of Darkness. One of the GURPS Deadlands books they came out with, the short-lived GURPS system reboot, redo. It's a dime novel, Aces and Eights. Fire and Brimstone source book. Items here, hold on to that. Let's see, we got Fistful Ghost Rock. Another copy. Those were for the Great Rare Wars. The first Rascals, Varmints and Critters book. Law Dogs. This was always one of the most in-demand books, and Smith and Robards is another one that's always in demand. We got a couple of the box sets. So River of Blood box set, very hard to find. Generally, I've got a couple recently that didn't have the box. Same with the Great Maze, didn't have a box. This box is kind of beat on, busted up corners. And then the Fortress of Fear box set. Another Fire and Brimstone. This one's got some dirt spots on the top there. One of the short-lived Epitaph. This is the first issue. It's like kind of a anthology magazine. Quick and the Dead hardcover. And then we have the D20 books. We've got the core book. Way of the Brave. Way of the Gun. Way of the Dead. And Horrors of the Wasted West. And there's one other I think they did that is not in there. Then a few other interesting items. These aren't Deadlands related. Got a Call of Cthulhu Sacraments of Evil book, and I don't think I have ever had one of these come through, or at least not for a long, long, long time. For 3.5, we got Book of Vile Darkness. Really good condition. A couple second edition items. Ravenloft, Van Richten's Guide to the Lich, always popular, and Van Richten's Guide to the Vampires. In pretty good shape, though a little bit of spine wear. This is RA2, Ship of Horror, with the BAP. A really beat up cover of Secret of Spider Haunt, unfortunately. You got something ate along the edges there. And then we have one nice item, really a great item here, Return to the Tomb of Horrors. It does have some kind of pushed in lid here. Contents are really just very nice. Even has the Tomb of Horrors reprint, which I was a little worried when these came out, because it's obviously a reprint of a classic module, and what happens when these get into the marketplace as loose items and are sold as new. And as far as I remember, there didn't seem to be anything that would indicate on it that this is a reprint. This has, it still says TSR. It doesn't have Wizards of the Coast on it anywhere. There isn't a little indicator like somewhere that would kind of clue you in that this is a reprint. So if you just found this in the wild, my only way that I kind of looked at it is the image on the cover here is just slightly off, and I wish I had one of the other ones maybe to show. It's just not as crisp as I think the original was. The text and everything does look good. The paper quality is basically the same. The map is the cardstock cover. They did a really nice job redoing it. It's just the graphics are just not quite as crisp as the original graphics. Now, obviously, they didn't have them to redo it. It was a facsimile. They had to scan it and clean it up as best they could, because the printing plates were probably, I can't imagine they were anywhere to be found when Wizards bought them. So even though it's, basically looks like a brand new copy, it's definitely something that you kind of have to look at closely if you're buying them in the wild. And I have received box sets. I actually have one now where that S1 is not present. So somebody either took it and sold it individually. I suspect some that they do believe that the anniversary box set, the gray box set that they did in the early 2000s, where they had facsimile copies of like a lot of the early edition modules, those had a silver anniversary star on the cover, so those were a little different, and you could kind of tell them apart. But this S2, I remember when it came out, I was like, ooh, this could be issues. But since we now have a guy, or a number of people on eBay, who all their entire business model is basically printing out the digital copies on high quality with high quality laser printers, and then selling them as reprints. That's kind of it's kind of out there. I mean, that stuff, that cat is out of the bag. The capacity to print those is getting better and better. You even have the hardcovers coming out. I don't really have an issue with it as long as people state in either their listings or or on the product that this is a reprint. I really have a big problem with someone using that business model and passing off something that they digitally printed as a legitimate copy that is not. You're collecting, you're gonna have to keep an eye on that, because I'm seeing it across items more and more. They generally will have a perfect bound a perfect bound spine, and the maps, if they were present, are always bound in, as opposed to a poster map. But probably in the future, that kind of stuff can start being produced digitally as well, on a bigger printer or something like that. Just a part of the collecting world that's you got to be aware of. The stuff's out there. The reprints are out there. I've even heard and seen some knockoffs. Actually, I do have a knockoff here. This is I have this sitting around. This is a Bio 1 early TSR book. I bought it thinking it was the original. It's clearly a copy, and I complained to the person who sold it that it was just a photocopy, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about," so they refunded my money. But I mean, it's just a photocopy. This isn't a legit copy of Bio 1, and so there are people out there trying to take advantage, unfortunately. Anyway, it's a little longer than I expected, but I hope you enjoyed it, and obviously hope to see you on the next one. Take care.